In an era defined by digital interconnectedness, the rise of online fraud has emerged as a formidable challenge, eclipsing even the global drug trade. Recent discussions highlight the alarming prevalence and sophistication of these scams, collectively referred to as scamming, which are wreaking havoc on individuals and businesses alike. As cybercriminals continue to evolve their tactics, the implications of this burgeoning threat are both far-reaching and deeply concerning. Scamming represents a vast global enterprise that operates beyond borders, leveraging technology to target unsuspecting victims. According to experts, online scams have escalated to such an extent that they are now likened to a pandemic, posing risks that affect people of all demographics. With the Federal Trade Commission reporting losses exceeding $8.8 billion in 2022 alone. It is evident that this crisis is not just a nuisance but a significant financial burden on society. The rise of these fraudulent activities can be attributed to several factors. The rapid acceleration of digital technology has provided scammers with an unprecedented toolkit to exploit vulnerabilities. Social media platforms, online marketplaces, and even legitimate business websites have become fertile ground for deception. As noted by cybersecurity analyst Dr. Sarah Thompson, scammers are adept at using the same tools that legitimate businesses use, which makes it increasingly difficult for consumers to distinguish between what is real and what is fraudulent. Moreover, the anonymity afforded by the internet has emboldened perpetrators. With little fear of repercussions, cybercriminals operate from the shadows, often masking their identities through sophisticated techniques such as VPNs and encrypted communication channels. This lack of accountability compounds the issue, making it challenging for law enforcement agencies to track and apprehend those responsible for these scams. The impact of scamming extends beyond financial losses. It also engenders a growing sense of distrust among consumers. As people become more wary of online transactions, businesses face the daunting task of rebuilding confidence. The longer this crisis persists, the more we risk eroding the foundational trust that underpins e-commerce, warns Dr. Thompson. This erosion of trust can have detrimental effects on economic growth, as consumers may shy away from engaging in digital transactions altogether. In response to this escalating threat, governments and organizations are ramping up efforts to combat online fraud. Legislative measures are being introduced to enhance consumer protection and increase penalties for cybercriminals. Additionally, public awareness campaigns aim to educate individuals about the risks associated with online activities and the importance of safeguarding personal information. However, experts argue that these measures must be coupled with technological advancements in cybersecurity to be truly effective. Looking ahead, the battle against scamming is likely to intensify. As technology continues to advance, so too will the tactics employed by fraudsters. The emergence of artificial intelligence and machine learning presents both opportunities and challenges in the realm of cybersecurity. While these technologies can aid in detecting and preventing fraud, they can also be weaponized by criminals to create more sophisticated scams. In conclusion, scamming poses a complex and evolving threat that requires a multifaceted response from all sectors of society. As we navigate this digital landscape, it is imperative that individuals, businesses, and governments work collaboratively to combat online fraud. The stakes are high in the future of online commerce, and indeed, the integrity of our digital interactions depends on our collective ability to address this pressing issue. The coming years will be crucial in shaping our defenses against this pervasive menace, and vigilance will be key in ensuring that the online world remains a safe space for all. In a dramatic confrontation emblematic of the shifting dynamics in American governance, Elon Musk's influence over federal agencies has reached unprecedented levels, raising alarms among career civil servants and political observers alike. The events unfolded on February 1, 2025, when a contingent of Musk's associates operating under the banner of the newly formed Department of Government Efficiency (DOGE) attempted to gain unrestricted access to the U.S. Agency for International Development (USAID). This encounter, which saw Musk's team demanding access to sensitive facilities, showcased a stark clash between an established government institution and a group empowered by the whims of one of the world's wealthiest individuals. USAID, with its storied history and significant budget allocated to humanitarian efforts, found itself at odds with Musk's cadre, described by some insiders as the Doge Kids. Initially granted access to the agency's headquarters, tensions escalated when Doge's demands crossed into areas deemed sensitive by USAID's security leadership. Musk, leveraging his considerable social media following, labeled USAID a criminal organization and called for its dismantling, leading to an abrupt cessation of operations at the agency within days. This disruption sent shockwaves through Washington as government agencies braced for what many perceived as a coordinated assault on the federal bureaucracy. Musk's motivations remain somewhat obscure. Yet his actions resonate with a broader agenda to reshape the federal landscape in line with President Trump's directives. The Doge initiative, which has already made inroads into the U.S. Digital Service and the Office of Personnel Management, signifies a dramatic shift toward a government that favors political loyalty over institutional expertise. As Robert Dorr of the American Enterprise Institute noted, the federal government is so big that there are surely significant opportunities for saving and efficiency, reflecting a sentiment shared by a faction of the electorate that views Musk's aggressive approach as a necessary corrective. However, this wave of reform is not without its critics. As Musk's team enacts measures resembling those from his controversial tenure at Twitter, a growing backlash threatens to undermine his ambitious plans. Federal workers, many of whom are now operating in a state of anxiety and uncertainty, have reported feeling besieged. A staff member from the Department of Homeland Security recounted her colleagues' defensive crouch in anticipation of Doge's arrival, drawing parallels between the current government upheaval and Musk's earlier corporate maneuvers. The legal ramifications of Musk's actions are also beginning to materialize. Court orders have already halted attempts to freeze federal spending, and unions are mobilizing to protect the rights of workers caught in the crossfire of this unprecedented restructuring. Representative Jamie Raskin's assertion that we don't have a fourth branch of government called Elon Musk encapsulates the growing concern over the consolidation of power in the hands of a private citizen. As civil servants grapple with the implications of Musk's takeover, many are left questioning the future stability of federal programs that serve millions both domestically and abroad. The recent reveal of a Time magazine cover featuring Musk in a position of power has only intensified speculation about the relationship between the tech mogul and the Trump administration. During a diplomatic meeting with Japan's Prime Minister, Trump dismissed inquiries about the magazine's portrayal of Musk behind the Resolute desk, suggesting a potential rift between the two. Musk, eager to maintain rapport with the president, responded publicly with commendations, underscoring the complex interplay of influence within this new political landscape. As the Trump administration navigates this uncharted territory, the consequences of Musk's actions are likely to unfold in the coming months. With federal agencies facing budget cuts, structural changes, and a workforce under siege, the repercussions of this upheaval will resonate far beyond the halls of power in Washington. The fragile balance of governance hangs in the balance as civil servants and citizens alike wait to see how far Musk's ambitions will stretch and whether institutional safeguards can withstand the pressure of such concentrated influence. In an era where the nuances of Black history are often overlooked or misrepresented, National Geographic explorer Tara Roberts emerges as a powerful voice advocating for a more profound understanding of heritage and healing. Her recently published memoir, Written in the Waters, delves into her journey as a scuba diver and historian, intertwining her personal growth with the exploration of historical narratives surrounding the transatlantic slave trade. Roberts, who has been affiliated with Diving with a Purpose, a non-profit organization dedicated to locating and documenting sunken slave ships, has spent years submerged in the waters that hold the stories of the 12.5 million enslaved Africans who endured unimaginable suffering during the Middle Passage. Her efforts have not only aimed to uncover these historical truths but also to foster healing within the African diaspora. So much happened over the last 6 years, and I wanted to process that for myself and also share that journey with the world. Roberts reflects on her motivations for writing the memoir, which was released on January 28. The backdrop of Roberts' memoir is particularly poignant given the current political climate where discussions of race and history are increasingly being labeled as divisive. Anti-critical race theory laws in various states have led to the erasure of essential Black history courses, a trend that Roberts actively challenges. Black history isn't a dangerous subject for me, she asserts, emphasizing how her travels and discoveries have empowered her spirit and fostered a deeper connection with her community. Central to Roberts' narrative is the figure of Umaya, the Yoruba goddess of the rivers and seas, whom she regards as a significant teacher throughout her journey. Maybe she is my patron saint, Roberts muses in her book, suggesting that Umaya embodies the strength and resilience of those who came before her, guiding Roberts through her own metamorphosis. By recognizing the spiritual dimensions of her exploration, Roberts highlights the interconnectedness of personal history and collective memory. Her memoir also confronts the portrayal of Black history predominantly through a lens of trauma. Roberts candidly shares her struggles with the narratives that have historically focused on pain, often overshadowing the accomplishments and rich culture of her ancestors. She notes the importance of presenting a more balanced view of African history in educational settings, citing a Johns Hopkins University study that underscores the benefits of comprehensive historical education on the mental well-being of Black students. The transformative power of her journey is evident in Roberts' reflections on her life prior to her involvement with National Geographic. A stark moment of realization came during a visit to the National Museum of African American History and Culture, where she encountered a photograph of Black scuba divers laughing and enjoying their time on the water. This image ignited a spark within her, leading to a pivotal connection with diving with a purpose which ultimately reshaped her life and career. As Roberts dove into the depths of historical shipwrecks, she began to confront her fears and embrace the agency that came with acknowledging her heritage. Her first dive at a sunken slave ship site marked a profound shift, allowing her to honor the past while reclaiming her own voice. "I felt so powerful. I felt agency," she recalls, illustrating the deep emotional impact of her experiences beneath the waves. The memoir also illustrates the healing rituals that accompany the discovery of historical wrecks such as the São José Paquete de Africa. Roberts recounts the poignant ceremony held by the Makua people, emphasizing the interconnectedness of past and present and how these rituals provide a space for collective healing. "That was a ritual that healed the people who were present that day. It healed me years later when I told this story," she reflects, underscoring the profound impact of recognizing and honoring ancestral histories. Roberts' exploration extends beyond the physical realm of shipwrecks to a personal journey of uncovering her own lineage. Through her interactions with the descendants of the Clotilda, the last known slave ship to bring human cargo to the United States, she discovered not just stories of trauma but also resilience and agency. This realization transformed her understanding of her own ancestry, prompting her to explore her family history with newfound curiosity. In a world where narratives of Black history are often sanitized or neglected, Tara Roberts' Written in the Waters serves as a vital reminder of the importance of storytelling in fostering understanding and healing. As she navigates the complexities of her own journey, Roberts invites readers to reflect on their own histories, emphasizing that recognizing the humanity and triumphs of ancestors can be an empowering experience. Looking ahead, her work holds the potential to inspire a broader dialogue about the multifaceted nature of Black history and its role in shaping contemporary identities, urging society to embrace a more inclusive narrative that honors both the struggles and the legacies of those who came before. In a surprising move that has sparked both intrigue and debate, Elon Musk recently announced his intention to rehire Marco Illes, a prominent figure in the Dogecoin community, after Illes faced backlash for posting racist comments on social media. This development raises questions not only about the implications for Illes' career but also about Musk's ongoing relationship with the cryptocurrency community and his approach to governance within his companies. Marco Elez, known for his role in promoting Dogecoin, a cryptocurrency that started as a meme but has since gained a substantial following, has been under scrutiny following the emergence of his past posts, which many deemed offensive. The fallout from these comments led to a wave of criticism directed at both Elez and Musk, highlighting the challenges tech leaders face in maintaining their public image and managing the reputations of their team members. Musk's decision to reinstate Elez has drawn mixed reactions. Supporters argue that reinstatement could signify a commitment to redemption and growth, suggesting that people can learn from their mistakes. People can change, and giving them a second chance is important, a spokesperson from the Dogecoin community stated. However, critics express concern that such decisions may undermine efforts to foster a more inclusive and respectful culture within the tech industry. The broader implications of this hiring decision extend beyond the individuals involved. Elon Musk, who has been known for his unconventional management style, is also the CEO of several high-profile companies including Tesla and SpaceX. His choices often affect the public's perception of these brands and could influence investor sentiment toward the volatile cryptocurrency market. Moreover, this incident underscores the ongoing challenge within the tech industry of reconciling freedom of speech with accountability for harmful statements. As artificial intelligence and social media continue to shape public discourse, leaders in the tech space must navigate these complex waters carefully. The potential for backlash can be significant as companies are increasingly held accountable for the actions and comments of their employees. Looking ahead, the situation could serve as a pivotal moment for both Musk and the cryptocurrency community. As the industry grapples with inclusivity and accountability, it will be interesting to observe how Musk's actions influence the future of Dogecoin and similar digital currencies. With Musk at the helm, the cryptocurrency world can expect continued volatility, not just in market prices but in the cultural dynamics that shape it. As 2025 unfolds, the ramifications of Musk's hiring decision will likely resonate throughout the tech landscape, prompting discussions about ethics, communication, and the evolving nature of leadership in an increasingly interconnected world. Elon Musk, the billionaire entrepreneur known for his provocative decisions and controversial statements, is once again at the center of public attention as he considers reinstating a 25-year-old employee from Doge, the cryptocurrency initiative he oversees. The employee Marco Elez resigned after being identified as the individual behind a now-deleted social media account that made racist comments and advocated for eugenics. The situation has ignited a heated debate online, particularly following Musk's launch of a poll on his social media platform X soliciting user opinions on whether Elez should be brought back. As of now, the poll shows overwhelming support for reinstatement, with 78% of respondents favoring Elez's return. Musk referred to the posts in question as inappropriate statements, highlighting the sensitivity of the issue. Comments made by Elez on the now-deleted account included inflammatory remarks like normalizing Indian hate and suggesting violent measures against Israel and Gaza. Following the Wall Street Journal's revelation of his identity, the White House confirmed that Elez had stepped down as a result of the backlash. Musk's history of following through with public polls is notable. He previously reinstated former President Donald Trump's account after a similar survey. This pattern raises questions about Musk's leadership style and the implications of his decisions within Doge, particularly as the initiative has been scrutinized for its cost-cutting measures that have reportedly affected government agencies. Critics from across the political spectrum have voiced concerns about these measures, claiming they could compromise sensitive data and undermine trust in government. Senator Lisa Murkowski, a Republican from Alaska, expressed her apprehension about Doge's approach, stating efficiency in government should be a goal for every administration, agency, and federal employee. But how we achieve it also matters. Murkowski added that bypassing established procedures creates unnecessary anxiety among citizens. The sentiment is echoed by Mark Cuban, who suggested that Musk's actions might be motivated more by personal interests than the broader needs of the country. In addition to the controversy surrounding Elez, Doge's activities have raised alarms regarding its access to sensitive data within government systems. Reports indicate that the team of young software engineers has been making inroads into federal agencies, prompting fears of data breaches and misuse of information. As DOJ navigates these turbulent waters, the outcome of the poll regarding Elon's reinstatement could have far-reaching implications for Musk's reputation, the future of DOJ, and the trust placed in tech leaders managing public resources. Looking ahead, the unfolding situation reflects broader societal challenges about the intersection of technology governance and personal accountability. As Musk continues to engage with his followers through digital polls, the stakes grow higher not only for DOJ and its employees but also for the integrity of the systems that underpin government operations. The coming days will likely reveal whether Musk chooses to heed public opinion or if he will prioritize his own judgment in navigating this complex landscape. In a series of notable developments within the tech and financial sectors, the ramifications of leadership changes in corporate strategies are sending ripples through the industry. The resignation of a staff member from the Dogecoin Doge project amid controversy, coupled with significant layoffs at Salesforce and a dramatic shift in leadership at the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau (CFPB), underscores a turbulent phase for both organizations and the broader economic landscape. The recent resignation from Doge, prompted by the staff member's involvement in the dissemination of racist posts, reflects ongoing issues within tech companies regarding workplace culture and social responsibility. This incident has raised questions about how organizations address internal conduct and the implications of individual actions on their public image. As the industry navigates these challenges, it highlights the urgent need for robust policies that foster an inclusive environment and mitigate reputational risks. In a parallel development, Salesforce has announced plans to cut over 1,000 jobs, a move that coincides with its hiring spree for artificial intelligence roles. This dual strategy indicates a significant shift in Salesforce's focus towards AI-driven solutions, especially after CEO Mark Benioff disclosed the successful closure of more than 1,000 deals for Agentforce, the company's AI platform. The layoffs, while allowing for internal job applications, signal a restructuring that may leave many employees in limbo. As Salesforce prepares to report its quarterly earnings on February 26, the market watches closely for the implications this workforce reduction will have on the company's long-term growth and innovation trajectory. Simultaneously, the CFPB is undergoing a seismic shift in leadership with the appointment of Russell Vought as acting director. Vaught's confirmation follows a contentious period marked by the firing of former director Rohit Chopra. His arrival coincides with a broader agenda led by Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency, which aims to reshape or potentially dismantle the CFPB altogether. This movement aligns with the controversial Project 2025, a plan advocating for substantial reductions in federal agencies, including proposals to limit the CFPB's enforcement capabilities and redefine its operational scope. As this initiative unfolds, it raises critical questions about regulatory oversight in the financial sector and the potential impacts on consumer protections. The implications of Musk's actions extend further, as 3 Doge team members have embedded themselves within the CFPB ostensibly to facilitate this dismantling process. This maneuver has been met with skepticism and resistance from various stakeholders, including congressional Democrats and agency unions, who argue that only Congress has the authority to dismantle such federal entities. The juxtaposition of Musk's aggressive restructuring approach with the CFPB's foundational role in consumer protection exemplifies the tension between regulatory bodies and the evolving landscape of tech-led governance. As these stories develop, the intersection of technology, corporate strategy, and regulatory frameworks will remain a focal point of analysis. The future of these organizations hangs in the balance as they navigate internal and external pressures with potential long-term consequences for employees, consumers, and the industry at large. Stakeholders will be keenly watching how these changes unfold and the broader implications for corporate governance and consumer rights in a rapidly changing economic environment. In a striking illustration of the ongoing tensions between scientific institutions and political directives, the American Society for Microbiology (ASM) recently found itself at the center of controversy following alterations made to its website. This situation has emerged in the wake of executive orders issued by former President Donald Trump aimed at curtailing diversity, equity, and inclusion (DEI) programs across various sectors, including the scientific community. The ASM, which boasts a membership exceeding 37,000, faced backlash after it removed references to terms like equity and temporarily took down articles featuring scientists from underrepresented groups. The organization stated that these changes were made in compliance with legal advice to safeguard federally funded programs. A justification that did little to alleviate the concerns of its members. "I feel sad, mad, disappointed," expressed Carla Bonilla, a biologist at the University of San Diego whose profile was briefly replaced with a notice indicating it was under review. Bonilla, who has been a member of the ASM since 2015, lamented that the society, once a steadfast ally for scientists from diverse backgrounds, now seemed to be trying to hide her. ASM President Teresa Kohler later acknowledged the organization's missteps in communication, admitting that the review process had caused confusion and hurt among members. "We realize that our poor communication has hurt and confused people," she stated in an email. "We will learn from this. And we will do better." This admission highlights the delicate balance that scientific societies must navigate when complying with governmental directives while striving to uphold their commitments to diversity and representation. The decision to alter the ASM website came in the context of a broader crackdown on DEI initiatives initiated by Trump, who labeled such programs as radical and wasteful. His administration not only targeted federal agencies but also sought to investigate large nonprofit organizations with DEI initiatives. The repercussions of this political climate have reverberated through the scientific community, leading to significant changes in how organizations present themselves and their values online. Members of the ASM expressed their discontent as they observed the removal of inclusive language from the society's resources. For instance, a page dedicated to the Inclusive Diversity with Equity Access and Accountability Committee was transformed into a page for the Progress Impact Access and Accountability Committee. This abrupt shift raised concerns about the Society's commitment to fostering an inclusive environment, as pointed out by Sean Gibbons, a microbiologist and ASM member. He criticized the alterations, particularly noting the lack of communication with article authors before edits were made. This incident is not an isolated occurrence but rather part of a larger narrative where scientific institutions grapple with political influence on their operations and messaging. The ASM's experience serves as a cautionary tale of how external pressures can provoke internal strife within scientific communities, prompting questions about the future of DEI efforts in an environment increasingly hostile to such initiatives. Looking ahead, the ASM and similar organizations face the challenge of rebuilding trust with their members while navigating the complex landscape shaped by political pressures. As the scientific community continues to advocate for inclusivity and representation, the need for clear communication and steadfast commitment to these values will be more critical than ever. The evolving dynamics between politics and science will likely influence how institutions approach diversity moving forward, making it imperative for them to stand firm in their beliefs while also adhering to legal and bureaucratic constraints. In a move that has ignited a firestorm of controversy within the scientific community, the American Society for Microbiology (ASM) has made significant changes to its online presence, removing references to diversity, equity, and inclusion (DEI) in response to directives from the Trump administration. This decision has not only led to public outcry but also raised questions about the future of diversity initiatives within scientific organizations. The alteration of the ASM's website, which included the temporary removal of articles highlighting scientists from underrepresented groups, has sparked protests among its more than 37,000 members. Many members expressed feelings of betrayal and disappointment, particularly as other scientific societies have issued statements supporting DEI. Carla Bonilla, a biologist at the University of San Diego, articulated the sentiment of many, stating, "I feel sad, mad, disappointed," adding that the ASM's actions felt like an attempt to erase her identity as a scientist from a diverse background. The ASM's president Teresa Kohler explained that the organization altered its website following legal counsel aimed at protecting its federally funded programs amidst a wider crackdown on DEI initiatives. Kohler acknowledged the organization's failure to communicate effectively with its members about the review process, stating, "We realized that our poor communication has hurt and confused people. We will learn from this and we will do better." The context for these changes stems from an executive order issued by President Trump, which sought to dismantle what were characterized as radical and wasteful DEI programs. This directive prompted federal agencies to scrub websites and publications of terms associated with DEI, a move that extended to identifying nonprofit organizations with DEI efforts as potential targets for investigation. The ASM's response, which included renaming its Inclusive Diversity with Equity Access and Accountability Committee to the Progress Impact Access and Accountability Committee, reflects a broader trend among organizations grappling with compliance under the current political climate. The impact of these changes is significant not only for the ASM but for the scientific community at large. Many members voiced concerns over the implications for research and collaboration within diverse groups. Sean Gibbons, a microbiologist and ASM member, criticized the modifications, emphasizing the ethical responsibility of the organization to consult authors before altering their contributions. Meanwhile, Juliette Johnston, an environmental microbiologist who identifies as a pansexual transgender woman, noted that the ASM's previous support now feels very hollow and emphasized the long road ahead to rebuild trust. As the scientific community grapples with the ramifications of these changes, the ASM's situation serves as a microcosm of the larger debate surrounding DEI initiatives in the United States. The tension between political directives and the pursuit of inclusivity raises difficult questions about the future of scientific integrity and the role of organizations in fostering a diverse research environment. Looking ahead, the ASM's experience may serve as a cautionary tale for other organizations navigating the complex landscape of DEI during politically charged times. The path forward will require a careful balancing act between compliance with federal directives and a commitment to the values that underpin scientific progress and equity. As the dialogue continues, it remains to be seen how the broader scientific community will respond to these challenges and what measures will be taken to ensure that diversity and inclusion remain at the forefront of scientific inquiry. In a move that has raised eyebrows across various sectors, President Donald J. Trump recently imposed a series of tariffs on imports from Canada, including a notable 10% tax on Canadian energy sources. The rationale provided for these tariffs, which the president linked to the flow of fentanyl crossing the northern border, appears to be tenuous at best. While he has drawn comparisons to tariffs imposed on Mexican imports under similar justifications, the data reveals a stark contrast. Fentanyl seizures at the Canadian border account for a mere 0.2% of the total confiscated on both the Canadian and Mexican borders. This discrepancy has prompted criticism, with the Wall Street Journal's editorial board labeling Trump's justification as pretextual. The tariffs were initially set to take effect but were suspended just hours before implementation, a move that Trump celebrated as a victory on Truth Social, claiming to be very pleased with this initial outcome. However, the temporary nature of this suspension raises concerns about the future of these tariffs, as they could easily be reinstated. At the core of this tariff decision lies a long-standing belief held by Trump that the United States is being ripped off by its trading partners. This sentiment was echoed during a recent news conference where, sitting beside Rupert Murdoch, Trump suggested that countries are eager to negotiate because they know they are taking advantage of the U.S. This perspective invites scrutiny, particularly when considering the legal framework surrounding such tariffs. Should the president's executive order be viewed through the lens of administrative law, it could be deemed arbitrary, much like the U.S. Supreme Court's ruling in the case of Department of Commerce v. New York, which struck down a citizenship question on the census due to a pretextual justification. Unlike actions taken by administrative agencies, presidential actions are afforded a degree of immunity when related to core functions of governance as established in Trump v. Hawaii. However, for tariffs grounded in legislative authority such as the International Emergency Economic Powers Act, the justification must align with the statutory authority claimed by the President. In the context of the Canadian tariffs, the rapidity of their suspension raises questions about whether they genuinely addressed an unusual and extraordinary threat to national security. Critics argue that the tariffs could exacerbate existing tensions, leading to potential retaliation from Canada, particularly as the US and Canada are already bound by the United States-Mexico-Canada Agreement (USMCA). The USMCA was touted by Trump as a significant achievement, described as a mutually beneficial win for North American stakeholders. Moreover, these tariffs pose a risk to the integration of energy markets, especially for states like Vermont, which relies heavily on Canadian hydroelectric power. By imposing tariffs, the federal government could inadvertently inflate energy costs for consumers, undermining the broader goal of expanding the use of renewable energy sources at a reasonable cost. States have historically faced scrutiny for imposing barriers to foreign imports, as such actions can trigger international retaliation. A concern that remains relevant with the current administration's approach to trade. As the situation develops, the implications of these tariffs extend beyond immediate economic concerns. They could reshape the landscape of US-Canada relations and the broader North American energy market. The ongoing discourse around trade practices, tariffs, and international agreements will undoubtedly continue to evolve, making it essential for stakeholders to remain vigilant in assessing the impacts of such executive actions and their alignment with legal standards. Looking ahead, the potential for reinstated tariffs looms large, and the discourse surrounding trade relations will likely intensify as both nations navigate the complexities of their economic interdependence. The coming months may provide further clarity on how these tariffs will ultimately affect not only Canadian energy imports but also the overall economic landscape in North America. In a striking twist to the ongoing saga of government technology under Elon Musk's leadership, the U.S. Treasury Department has raised alarms regarding the access and actions of staff members from the Department of Government Efficiency (DOGE). An internal email which has come to light labels these individuals as the single greatest insider threat risk facing the Bureau of the Fiscal Service (BFS). This development has ignited a debate over security oversight and the implications of youthful engineers wielding unprecedented access to sensitive federal systems. For over a week, DOGE staff have had direct access to critical payment systems within the Treasury, a situation that has prompted urgent scrutiny. The email from the Treasury's Threat Intelligence Team, reviewed by Wired, outlines stark concerns about the potential for unauthorized changes and actions taken by DOGE members who reportedly have little to no prior government experience. If DOGE members have any access to payment systems, we recommend suspending that access immediately and conducting a comprehensive review of all actions they may have taken on these systems, the email cautioned. Central to these concerns is Marco Illes, a 25-year-old engineer previously employed at Musk's companies SpaceX and X. Illes has been granted read and write privileges on the Payment Automation Manager and Secure Payment systems that managed $5.45 trillion in payouts during fiscal year 2024. The email reveals that there are indications of unauthorized modifications made by DOGE members, locking civil servants out of critical systems. Continued access to any payment systems by DOGE members, even read-only, likely poses the single greatest insider threat risk the Bureau of the Fiscal Service has ever faced, it states. As the scandal unfolds, the Treasury Department has faced mounting pressure from lawmakers. Senator Ron Wyden has publicly criticized the department for its lack of transparency regarding DOGE's operations, demanding logs of access from Illes and other affiliated personnel. The situation escalated further following a federal judge's order on February 6, which temporarily restricted DOGE staff from accessing and altering payment information. The fallout from this incident is emblematic of a broader trend wherein young, technically skilled individuals are stepping into influential roles within government, often without extensive oversight or experience. Critics argue that the blend of inexperience and significant access could lead to catastrophic breaches of security and trust. In parallel, proponents claim that young talent is crucial for revitalizing government processes and technology. The controversy has also drawn attention to the behavior of DOJ staff on social media, with reports of extreme views held by some members, including those advocating for racist ideologies. Such revelations have only heightened scrutiny on the team's integrity and the potential implications of their access to sensitive systems. In a surprising twist, U.S. Attorney Ed Martin, who oversees federal prosecutions in Washington, has vowed to investigate threats made against DOJ employees, asserting a commitment to protect them amidst the growing backlash. "See something, say something," he urged, as he prepares to coordinate with the FBI and other law enforcement agencies in the matter. As the situation continues to develop, it raises critical questions about the vetting processes for those granted access to government systems and the balance between innovation and security in a rapidly evolving digital landscape. The future of DOJ and its impact on the broader technological landscape of the federal government remains uncertain. What is clear, however, is that the intersection of youth, technology, and governance will be a focal point of discussion in the months to come. In a significant move that marks a new chapter in energy independence, the Baltic nations of Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania have successfully disconnected from the Russian-controlled power grid. This historic transition, completed on February 8, 2025, is a culmination of years of planning and preparation that gained urgency in the wake of Russia's invasion of Ukraine. By integrating into the European Union's electricity network, these nations aim to eliminate any potential leverage Russia might have held over them through energy dependence. Lithuanian Energy Minister Žygimantas Vaičiūnas emphasized the importance of this disconnection, stating, "We have removed any theoretical possibility of Russia using energy control as a weapon." This sentiment was echoed by European Commissioner for Energy Dan Jorgensen, who referred to the day as historic, highlighting the broader implications for European security. Jorgensen noted no European country should be dependent on Russia for anything, underscoring the geopolitical motivations behind the Baltic states' decision. The disconnection process, which occurred at precisely 9:09 a.m. local time, involved extensive preparations, including a significant investment of approximately €1.6 billion, $1.7 billion, largely funded by the EU. This investment facilitated the necessary infrastructure upgrades and technological advancements required for the Baltic states to operate autonomously from Russian energy sources. Following the disconnection, Latvia physically severed a power line to Russia, symbolizing a definitive end to their energy ties. The urgency of this transition stemmed not only from the geopolitical climate but also from the recognition that reliance on Russian energy posed a substantial risk to national security. Following the Russian invasion of Ukraine in 2022, the Baltic states ceased purchasing Russian gas and electricity but remained technically connected to the Russian grid. This connection left them vulnerable to potential manipulation, leading to heightened fears of geopolitical blackmail. As the Baltic states now operate in an isolated mode, they will conduct tests on their electricity frequency and stability before fully integrating into the European grid. This transitional phase is crucial to ensuring that the new energy system is robust and capable of meeting the demands of the region without external interference. The integration is expected to occur within a day, further solidifying the Baltic nations' energy sovereignty. Interestingly, during this transition, Russian cooperation was noted, as Russian operators were reported to have disconnected their side of the grid simultaneously. This unexpected collaboration suggests that even amidst the geopolitical tensions, there are elements of interdependence that cannot be ignored. Rokas Masiulis, head of Lithuania's state-run grid operator Litgrid, remarked, "When you are part of the same system, you cannot harm the other without harming yourself." This momentous event is not merely about energy independence, it represents a broader commitment by the Baltic states to align more closely with European norms and security frameworks. The disconnection from the Russian grid is a clear assertion of their sovereignty and a vital step in ensuring a stable energy future. Looking ahead, the Baltic states will be under scrutiny as they finalize their integration into the European energy network. The success of this transition may serve as a model for other nations grappling with similar security concerns. As the geopolitical landscape continues to evolve, the focus will undoubtedly shift toward how these nations can leverage their newfound energy independence to enhance regional stability and collaboration within the EU. In a groundbreaking advancement within the field of robotics, researchers have unveiled a novel soft robotic arm crafted from biodegradable materials, specifically pig gelatin and cellulose derived from cotton. This innovative approach not only addresses the growing concerns surrounding electronic waste but also opens new avenues for medical applications, particularly in invasive procedures where traditional rigid devices may pose risks. Led by Hanqing Jiang at Westlake University in Zhejiang, China, the team explored the potential of soft robotics, an area gaining traction due to its versatility and safety in various applications. The robotic arm, constructed in a crescent origami structure, measures about 240 millimeters in length and is designed to bend and compress, mimicking the flexibility of biological tissues. By manipulating 3 threads within the arm, the researchers can control its movements using external motors, demonstrating the device's adaptability. One of the standout features of this robotic arm is its ability to serve as both a manipulative device and a sensor. The gelatin component changes its electrical resistance when bent, enabling precise tracking of the arm's position. The implications of this technology are vast. Jiang notes, in the future we may have more robots on the planet than human beings, so there'll be lots of waste. In landfill is where we need these robots to disappear. The current iteration of the arm biodegrades harmlessly, but Jiang emphasizes the need for further research to ensure complete breakdown within the human body for medical applications. Caspar Althofer, a prominent expert in the field from Queen Mary University of London, supports the potential of soft robotics, particularly in scenarios where traditional tools might be left behind safely. You could in such a scenario leave your tools behind, so to speak, without a problem, he asserts, reflecting on the future applications of this technology in surgery and other critical procedures. As the field of robotics continues to evolve, the development of biodegradable materials for robotic components represents a significant step forward. This innovative approach not only mitigates environmental concerns but also enhances the safety and effectiveness of devices used in close interaction with humans. The findings, as published in the journal Science Advances, underscore a promising future where soft robotics could revolutionize both industrial and medical practices. Looking ahead, researchers will likely refine these materials and explore additional applications for biodegradable robots. As the integration of technology into our daily lives deepens, the importance of sustainability in robotics will play a crucial role in shaping future innovations. This biodegradable arm could very well be the first of many steps towards a more environmentally friendly approach to robotics, paving the way for devices that can serve their purpose without leaving a lasting impact on our planet.